good. Okay, here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Double Dog of Black Sheep Bravo coming at you with another episode of Beyond the Thin Blue Line with myself, the Double Dog. Today I have a special guest, none other than the Doc. Doc, what's going on? And thank you for joining me at today's show, brother.
Oh, hello. Not much really going on here. Just another Sunday, Thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate this opportunity.
Of course, man. Today was a good show, it's an interesting show, because we're talking about today police shooting, specifically the shooting that happened on April 4th, man. I know you've heard about it, the Crown Heights shooting in Brooklyn. Man, we received a lot of feedback on this, especially me on my social media and my email account. So just to show you, it's a tough job being a police officer. Sometimes you got to make split-second decisions, brother. I know you know about that, right?
Absolutely.
So what I did was to basically get some clarity with this information. We provided a quick video of what happened that day on April 4th on Crown Heights. And before we show the video, Doc, I just want the viewers to know it's tough being a cop, and it's really, really quick for these individuals to pass judgment, especially on the news media and social media about cops murdered people, cops shooting unarmed people. So we're hoping we shed a light on this incident, especially with emotionally disturbed people. So I'm going to let Doc, you take it away and show the quick video of what I'm talking about. Doc, take it away.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Let's do a little bit of commentary. You see this individual, there you go. This individual, as you see, walking around, read what's going on. Our viewers, go ahead and read that, and you'll see basically what's going on. So it seems like this guy is going around menacing people with what appears to be a gun. There he is again. At this point, he put it up to this guy's neck. Just regular passerbyers.
Holy moly.
And there he is. That's when he motioned towards the police officers. So just wanted, I wanted the public to get a perspective of what's going on. And I'm glad you're showing this, Doc. I'm going to let that keep playing. Okay. All righty. So,
holy moly.
I appreciate that, Doc. What do you, just by looking at that, Doc, give me your comments, your opinion. What do you think was going on?
Initially, I mean, how can you tell the difference between a gun and what he's holding or not? It looks like a gun at first glance.
Absolutely.
I mean,
So
someone's coming up to you out of the blue, and you think they're gonna blow you away. I mean, come
absolutely.
on. If it
and
looks
if you
like
saw,
a gun,
there was exactly. You saw at one point there was someone there with a young child.
Yeah, I'd be scared for my life if that dude came up to me like that.
Okay, so from this, you'll be able to see the 911 transcripts that's provided. But in this incident, I just want to let the people know. First of all, I want to make it very clear. The views and opinions is just myself, Doc, what we here share at Black Sheep Bravo, not necessarily of the NYPD. So if anyone wants information regarding what's going on in the press, I'm going to tell them they got to go what's called DCPI. Deputy Commissioner of Public Information. These are the individuals in the NYPD that disseminate this information. So the views and opinions are just, like I said, mine, Doc's, and of us at Black Sheep Bravo. So I want to make that clear from the jump. What I can comment about is what I see. It's my opinion. So as you saw, Doc, this individual's going around, appears to be just going after people with a gun. Whether it was a gun or not, hey, that's
right.
Not up to me and you to
He's
determine.
Still making the motions like it is a gun. He's pointing and aiming.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a radio, but if I hold it like this,
there you go.
You go up to people, you don't even know what it is.
That's exactly my point. So when you get
given this day and age, I mean, of course people are going to think it's a gun. Come on. I mean, granted, the guy probably had some issues, or no, he did have issues. Otherwise, no sane person's going to do this. But it's unfortunate that he was killed, correct?
Absolutely, yes, he was. Unfortunately, yes, he was.
Yeah, I mean,
he was killed.
It's highly unfortunate that someone that has some issues lost their life, but I mean, at the same time, the cops are there to look out for everyone else,
right,
including themselves.
That's well said, man. And I talked about it on previous shows that I did when I talked about the whole issue of, if you remember, I worded it the emotionally disturbed person, how we react to that. And this is another incident where I say the system, what happens is we get these individuals off the street. We take them in custody to get their treatment or whatever counseling. Now, what the hospital or clinics do is up to them. They release them back into society. Now, guess what? The public is at danger again, and we in law enforcement have to deal with this all over again. And I keep saying this. It's the system. Stop blaming the NYPD. So in this issue, several 911 calls were made, several, about a man going around with a gun, And that's, remember, when you're in that radio call, these officers heard the dispatcher say, respond to a man with a gun. So that's what their adrenaline is moving. They're thinking, I'm going out with a man with a gun. So when they arrived to the location, the first thing, as you saw in the last clip, he motioned to the officers like he was going to fire. What do you want these officers to do? You want them to say, time out? Let me see if that's a gun? Absolutely not. That split-second decision is a matter between life and death for them or the general public. So if you can, Doc, I believe we have some more just images, photos of, looks like a guy with a gun. See what you got, Doc, and we'll analyze it.
So I'm just going to say shout out to my dad. He's watching right now. He said hello. So hello, Dad.
Hey, hello, Mr. Doc.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, whoops. I started at the end. Here we go. We're at the beginning now.
There you go. All righty.
Okay. Here's the first one.
All right, Doc. So what do you think about this photo? Guy with a gun, guy with a pipe. Do you know?
No. I mean, even if you look closely, it kind of looks like he has a front sight, too.
You don't know. Looks like a silver handgun.
Yeah. Like a little Derringer or something.
Yeah, this is the footage. Now, there you go. Right. That's a perfect one. Now, this poor guy with the white hood, he was in fear for his life, I bet. This guy looked like he was, and if you look close, he looks like a silver handgun.
Yeah, it really does.
Let's see what else we got.
Holy crap. Oh, wait. How do we get two of the same? Okay.
There you go. Now we got someone with a child. I mean, you can't get more frightening than that. You're walking down the street with your child. Here this guy points what appears to be a weapon at you. This is what I wanted. I'm glad you showed this photo, because this is what I want the public to see. Well, before they go ahead and start bashing these cops, that the cops murdered this guy, and this guy was a saint because he was helping cleaning up whatever store. He probably was, but obviously he had emotional issues. But he's clearly aiming what appears to be a gun at this person.
There's a saying out there: you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but
there you go. I love this one, Doc, and you captured it beautifully, man. You see in the bubble on the left, you don't see a pipe there. It looks like a muzzle of a silver gun, and you see the guy on the street motioning that he was just gonna blast these people, and they're afraid of their lives.
Yeah, seriously.
So this is what I'm talking about. When the general public immediately starts bad-mouthing the cops, they don't know what's going on. And I always say it's okay to have your opinion, but wait until the facts are played. And remember, these images were given to us by NYPD after an investigation took place. Because right away, you got the media, you got the radio, you got social media saying, oh, a bad shooting, an unarmed suspect. Really quick, what we do in NYPD, we slow the tempo. Let's investigate, and then we'll discuss it. So that's a great photo you have on the screen there, Doc. What do you think about this one, though?
This particular one, where it highlights it?
Yes.
It appears to be a little bit more clear to show that it's not a gun, but this is with I can see it, and it's in still motion. It's not moving or anything. He's not pointing it at me, so
right.
I'm not in the situation where I have to make that decision, but I mean, still, it's still something that represents a gun. The way he's acting, the way he's pointing it. I mean, I'd say it's completely justified.
Yeah. It's tough. Like I said, I don't make light of it, man. It's serious what happened, but you gotta see what the police saw.
Yeah, even my dad just said, he's like, if someone did that to me, it would probably end badly for them.
Yeah. And what if these guys in the video, what if one of those guys had a gun, and what if that's what we were talking about. So yeah. That's the picture of what he was holding. Now as you see, it has a long length like it's a barrel. So you can see if he's holding it, it actually looks like a handgun. But remember, we're not going slow motion. He's going like this, quick. So that was what he had.
And it's basically out of the blue, too. I mean, these people had no idea he was going to be coming up to him. And then as soon as he brandishes it, it's right in your face already. I mean,
it's unfortunate. Obviously, he had some mental issues, but that is what the individual had.
I would think my lucky stars that it was not a gun, and he was... Yeah. And... Yeah, because that could have been way worse if it were an actual gun. So
it could have been, man.
Holy could have been.
So there you have it. You can log on that website. There you have it, and then you see the 911 transcript. If our viewers out there can log into that when they're home, and they can see the written transcript of the 911 recording of numerous people calling, saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun. So you got to just remember, when these cops responded, they were responding to a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
And as you saw that last one, as they appeared, he motioned like he was going to shoot them. And like I said, we don't have that luxury to say, time out. Sir, hold time out. Is that a real gun you're holding? We don't have that luxury. We have to make split.
There's no freezing time button
There's
here.
No. So,
Although if you do invent that, please. It would be quite helpful.
So that's the part that's tough about being a cop, is hearing this criticism and cops are murderers. We don't wake up in the morning to say we want to shoot someone. And that's what gets me upset about these people on the street when they love doing the interviews. Oh, these cops. Oh, why didn't they tase them? And I'm glad I brought that up, because when these individuals mentioned the word taser, it's a saying, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And a few shows ago, I told you about the different tools we have in our arsenal. We have the straight baton, the pepper spray, the taser, and of course our firearm. You have to match the threat that's being used upon you. In this instance, the threat was a gun.
Yep.
Even though it wasn't a gun at the time, they were responding to a man with a gun. And the individual motioned like he was going to shoot them. So they, in turn, responded with deadly physical force, which they were well in their right to do so. Unfortunately, he was killed.
I mean, this stuff happens all the time. I mean, even like when I was in Iraq, I mean, there would be no way to know if, like, even if it were a little kid or grown up, doesn't matter. If someone's going to point something at you, I mean, you're going to want to save your life there. And
absolutely.
Save everyone else's life as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right.
You were that.
The two of us experienced that. You remember when we were on, when we basically hit Kuwait, and when we were trying to liberate these individuals, and you saw the hundreds of the Iraqis when they were walking up with their white shirts flaring in there, and then we reacted like we don't know if they have any IADs or anything like that. We pointed our weapons at them and we told them to strip. That's a dangerous situation. Some of them had other stuff on them, but when we experienced that in Iraq, we're not taking that chance. We're not going to get ourselves killed and our guys killed. So we experienced that in a wartime environment. And some of these guys were like suicide guys. They wanted it's called, suicide by cop or suicide by Marine, suicide by soldier, whatever you have it. They want it to death because they think they were going to go and get these, 25 angels. These guys were psychos. So who knows what's going on in these individuals' minds?
Who knows? Beyond me. But unfortunately, this is one that we lost that we couldn't help.
Exactly. Yeah. So we welcome.
Make that a lesson. If you know someone that needs help, get them help.
Absolutely. Get them the help that they need.
Available.
Yes. That's because I want our viewers to know if it's basically a public service announcement. If you know a guy that needs help, get them help before it gets to that level. When it gets to that level, then it's over with. Even when they start young, when they start having those tendencies of being violent, get them the help they need. I'm not saying you got to hurry up and take them to the shrink and get them to have medication. I'm not saying that. Maybe they need mentoring or maybe they need to talk to someone, but it's amazing. You get these people with, and some of them are veterans, unfortunately, man, because they don't get the help they deserve, man. So we got to take care of our veterans that's having issues with, mental issues. We got to take care of our veterans. That's when we do our Friday night roundtable show, just to get these veterans to get all that craziness off their mind. And it's an hour of us at the roundtable just talking and goofing around. If it makes that one veteran safe, hey, man, our goal is accomplished, brother.
Yeah. Maybe we might sway one mind here and there, so who knows?
Exactly. So let me ask you a question, Doc.
Sure.
What do you think forget about this incident, what do you think in general about these emotionally disturbed people with law enforcement? Do you think there's more we need to do in law enforcement dealing with these emotionally disturbed people, or is the society in general needs to find out how can they help the police? It's a tough question, but what are your views on that?
Very tough. I mean, you're asking for like a paradigm shift here. So you're gonna, both the police officers or the law enforcement community and the community at large are going to have to change their individual views, because they kind of mirror each other right now. Everybody knows what's going on, and they're kind of playing this cat and mouse game. It almost seems like this whole bickering thing between the two. But the bottom line is, training only goes so far, and recruitment goes so far. And for the people, don't be fucking dumb. If someone came up to you and you did not know them, and they pointed that thing at you, you're going to think it was a gun. I guarantee it.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy to be the sideline quarterback and say, I should or shouldn't do this, but, I mean, use your freaking brains, people.
Exactly, man. Hey, I welcome you viewers that are going to see this show. I welcome your comments. You can actually shoot us a quick email at blacksheepbravo@gmail.com. Or you can, of course, like us on Facebook, share our video, and we welcome all your comments. And subscribe to our YouTube page at Black Sheep Bravo. Give us all whatever you want. We can handle it. We're Marines, we're Navy, we're veterans. It doesn't hurt our feelings. We welcome your comments. What do you think about the issue with police-involved shooting with emotionally disturbed persons? It's a tough topic. And, now I told you on the roundtable show that I went through body camera training, and that's another tool that we have to show actual footage of what we experienced live right there firsthand before the general public starts once again bad-mouthing the cop. And that's one thing in this show, Beyond the Thin Blue Line. You're not going to hear any bad-mouthing here. We tell the truth. We get to the bottom of it, and it's all positive vibes here for the NYPD and law enforcement in general. Regardless of what you think about police people, you need the police, and the police need you. So we welcome your comments, whatever you have to say. And, that's because I try to limit that conversation on our Friday roundtable show. When Olga brought up the topic, I told him I was going to do a whole show on this. And that's what this show is about. Not only the Crown High shooting, but shootings in general. And I think he mentioned about that other shooting where the cops shot the other young man in the back and they paused the video. That's a tough video to watch, man. What are your thoughts on that one, man? It's not NYPD, man, but damn, comments. It's tough. It's tough. Not always it's going to be, a perfect outcome. And I'm not saying the system doesn't have flaws, because it does have flaws. And but here in NYPD, under the leadership of our commissioner, we've done well. He's done wonderful things, Mr. Commissioner James O'Neill with the police department. We have great training at the academy, great instructors. We got good cops. We really do, and we really try our best to help out the community, man. It's a sad thing. And I hate talking about shootings, but there's always two sides. You know that, Doc.
Absolutely.
Just hope these viewers, can understand that.
We got a couple comments here already.
Go right ahead. Read
Joy
the comments
Kubanek, there. Niana says hi. Hello.
Hey,
and
what's
Steve,
going on?
Police around my way do a lousy job. That's
yeah, that's the old Coke man. Yeah, you know what? Every certain neighborhoods have what I call active precincts. I work at the 4-4 precinct. That's in the South Bronx. Very, very, very precinct. Like I said, we cover Yankee Stadium. We cover the courthouses. We cover the mall. We cover the housing developments. 1.97 square miles. Might seems like small, but man, it's very, very busy. So some precincts are busier than others. Where Steve lives at, like I said, I'm not going to just give everyone's location, but the precinct where Steve lives at, it's not as active as the precinct I work in, and he is correct. Sometimes you get a quick response, and sometimes you get a slow response. But Steve, I encourage you to watch my last show where I discussed the neighborhood policing philosophy, and you can get a better idea what the NCOs means and how you get quick responses. So I encourage you to watch the last show about neighborhood policing philosophy, Steve. So thanks for watching, Steve, and thank Joy for watching. What else we got? Anybody else, commenting?
No, that was pretty much it.
You say your dad is on too, right?
Yes, he is. Oh, yeah. He corrected you from earlier when you were talking about the going to heaven thing. Is 72 virgins is what they're promising.
There you go. Thank you. We got our fact checker. So that's what I'm talking about, man.
It's not Linda, but it'll do.
He will do it. He's absolutely correct. When we were out there, it was tough. That environment was tough, and there's days where I'm like,
hot as shit.
What the hell am I doing out here, man? And when you in the desert, and you got these people coming up, some of them are young in their teens, and all they want to do is surrender. It's intense. And like your dad said, yeah, they a lot of them want you to engage so they can go and get their virgins. Sick people out there, and here in the city, we call it suicide by cop. Hey, screw it. I want a cop to kill me. And sometimes they think, oh, if a cop kills me, I'll be dead. But then my significant other is going to get a big payday. It's all about the money. It's all about the money here, man. Everyone wants to freaking sue the NYPD, bro.
Yeah.
So I appreciate. I appreciate your doc. I appreciate your father correcting me on that.
No problem.
We need people like that, man. He's not Linda, but we'll do.
Yeah, right. We need some people in the background doing this for us.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Johnny, look this up.
So this is cool, man. This is why I appreciate you coming on as a co-host. As you saw, this was a tough topic to discuss.
I have a question for you.
By myself. What's up? Bring it.
How do you perceive the general population when they say, like, hey, this was unjustified? Do you think they have any grounds to stand on that?
That's going to be a yes and no for me. At first, when the incident happens, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people outraged and protesting. But what I always tell people is remain calm, let the investigation take place, let it move forward before you pass judgment. Unfortunately, society in general reacts after the fact, and when I say when these individuals protest, they're not doing any good to this person that was killed or shot by going around doing these protests and damaging people's property and putting places on fire and causing chaos. What does that do for the issue? It does absolutely nothing. Nothing. It doesn't bring this guy back. You're not honoring the guy's or girl's memory by doing that nonsense. I understand it's tense. Someone was shot. I just ask the public, calm down, let the investigation take place. If the investigation reveals that it was a bad shooting, then you know what? You have every right to protest peacefully and express your concerns. And if you want to sue, of course, do what you got to do. But I just ask them just to wait. Not everything you see on the news is true. Not everything you hear on the radio is true, especially social media, man. You know it, I know it. And I lost a lot of friends on Facebook where when this happened, oh, effing cops, and some were family members. It's important. I was like, you know what? Delete. But that's it could be right. The short answer is right or wrong. Yes, it could be yes and no. You just let it play out. Let it play. I don't blame them. It could have been my family, it could have been your family, and I would be outraged too. God forbid. Let me tell you something. Before I became law enforcement, I've been stopped several times. But you know what? My mom told me respect authority, respect my seniors, and just have respect for myself. And on a few occasions, I was walking in a housing development where I was raised at. It was late. I came home, from a club with my friends, and I was stopped. I was put on the hood of a vehicle, but you know what? I complied. I served them to freaking death. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got nothing to hide. I got nothing to hide. I didn't do nothing. And then at the end, the guy was like, you know what? I'm sorry. You just matched someone, that we're looking for. And I was like, not a problem, officer. No problem. And he was like, have a nice night. And it's all good. Those days are over, man. There's no stopping people. There's no frisking people. That was gone, and unfortunately, stop, question, and frisk was a great tool of ours because it stopped a lot of crimes from happening and it stopped a lot of individuals from carrying weapons. But again,
correct. But there's also a lot of controversy with that, especially when it comes to the Fourth Amendment.
Controversy. That's exactly it. You hit it right on the nose, man.
Yes.
That's exactly it. And I told my kids, comply with what the officers say. Now, if you don't agree with how they talk to you, how they treated you, there's avenues to take. Even if you're arrested, you know what? If you did nothing wrong, no problem. The judicial system is there. Go through the courts, play it out there. And we also have, civilian, a lot of law enforcement would tell you, oh, CCRB, you know what? Hey, CCRB is there. If you have a complaint, you follow CCRB and let it plan out. Let it play out. There's ways to do it, ladies and gentlemen, without rioting and disrespecting.
Or risking your life.
Come on. Comply. It's very simple.
We got a couple comments here.
Bring it. What do we got?
If you want. Joy said the general public doesn't always have all the facts, which is absolutely true. Then Vic said, you're absolutely right, Devil Dog. And then that was in reference to the question that I asked you.
Okay.
Then Vic also said, refer back to April 4th, 1968. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. The south side of Joliet burned that night. Joliet's a south suburb of Chicago, for those of you that don't know that. And Steve has a question, our Coke dealer.
Oh, what's his question?
He said, body cam's a good idea or a bad idea. I would say that they are a great idea because then it gives facts. I mean, it's right there. You're not relying on cameras that are not necessarily pointing at the particular place that you need to. I mean, your camera's pointing to where you're looking. So, I mean, yeah, they are great, and it helps. Yeah.
I'm going to
keeps everyone. It keeps both sides in jeopardy.
I'm going to agree with you on that one, Doc.
Not in jeopardy, in check.
100% in agreement. Body cameras are vital, a great tool that we now have at the police department because it shows a different side of the story. It shows the true facts, and it prevents these frivolous lawsuits that these individuals have against the police. For incidences on shooting, on courtesy, a lot of these individuals love circumventing stories that the police said this, the police said that. Oh, why you assaulted me? You hit me. When you're in back of the police car going to the station, they love bashing their heads and splitting their heads open. That's vital for the partner to film that individual being transported to the precinct, because if this individual does that and the first thing he tells us that this sergeant is, these freaking cops just beat the crap out of me in the police car. We're justified because you're on video, moron, hitting your head on the cage. So these cameras are vital, and you'd be surprised. The level of complaints, civilian complaints on police officers have gone down because now they know, holy crap, I'm recorded. And when we engage, for instance, in car stops, when we pull you over, we tell the individual, how are you? My name is Officer So-and-so. Just want to let you know you are being recorded on my body-worn camera. When you say that to these people, you're going to see the different light of them. They're not going to start yelling out the obscenities. They're going to be like, total different.
I believe it's called reactivity, that they know they're being recorded.
Exactly. So, yes, Steve, Doc and I agree cameras are a good thing.
Yes. I would like to amend my statement earlier, however, of what needs to change. I'm going to go ahead and say that the media needs to change more than any other, the two sides, the police officers and the general population, because once the media spits out a story, people are going to hold on to that. And there's actual psychology research that says that even though you amend a story, whatever they heard to be first is what they consider to be true. So that goes a long way when you're talking about something being unjustified, but then like a week later the investigation is finished and they're like, oh, it was totally justified. It doesn't matter because people aren't going to remember that.
That's great, man. Thank you for bringing that point up, man. That's actually great. That's a great point. You're right. The media does need to change, and we get a lot of damn, man. It just upsets me, man, when I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the news, and I'm not even going to give them a plug. I'm not going to say their network or anything like that. It's just when you're sitting there and I'm sitting there with Mrs. Doubledog, and I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Did he just say that the cop shot an unarmed suspect? Are you freaking kidding me? Because I know the real story because I hear it straight from the source, NYPD. So, yeah, unbelievable, man. And sometimes we need to have formal, it is true. On some of these networks, you have former law enforcement as analysts, and, and even they, so far out, they've been retired
they're getting
long.
Paid, and if they don't
get paid by the networks,
they're not going to get paid anymore.
So people say, oh, it's got to be true because this guy was a former lieutenant. He was a former detective. Yeah, but now he's a civilian making buku dollars getting paid by a network. He or she's been out the game so long. It's a different police department.
Oh, yeah.
Way different police department.
If you want to do it, we still have some more comments. People seem to be interested, so if we keep going if you want.
Let's keep going, brother. This is why I wanted this show. What else we got?
All right, Steve again. He's been quite popular today.
All right, Steve.
Is the body cam similar to dash cams in police vehicles? That's a good question.
Well, let me tell you something, Steve. The difference is with the dash cam, when you're watching another vehicle, obviously you don't have audio. It's just, you don't see what's going on. It's basically just the when I'm talking about audio, you don't hear anything. You see. With the body cam, you hear and you see firsthand what goes on with the interaction with the police. A lot of these people buff out, and the civilians, they'll put their own cameras there, and sometimes you can hear and see stuff. But we can use the body-worn cameras in any way we can see that can help us in the public. For instance, like Steve, when you said the dash cam, if we're doing a felony car stop, what I mean by felony car stop is we see a vehicle and we ask the dispatcher, he commits a couple of VTL, vehicle and traffic law violations. The officer puts it over 911, the dispatcher, and it comes out to be a stolen vehicle. Okay, now we're about to do a felony car stop. These officers can position their body-worn cameras motioning to that vehicle that's being pulled over, and it's give play-by-play action. This is Officer so-and-so from whatever precinct. I'm about to pull over this vehicle in front of me. Came back stolen. Another tool, and then they can take that camera, put it back, go approach, and go for it, whatever. So it's similar, Steve, but it's two different things. Way two different things, like the body-worn cameras, you put it on, you engage. It's a good question, Steve, and I know a lot of you people out there, maybe you too, Steve, when you're out there driving your Coke truck, you got your freaking dash, and, and Steve, do me a favor, stop complaining about the damn tinted windows, please. Take the tint off, and you won't get no tickets, for crying out loud.
Well, there you have it, Steve, from Devil Dog himself. Oh, then we got from Vic, the liberal public will sue for any reason.
Oh,
that's going down a different rabbit hole here.
Who was that comment by?
That was by Vic, my dad.
Vic is actually 100% right.
Yep. And then he also said media has to step away and report only facts, not opinions.
Man, I like Vic.
Couldn't agree more. But, I mean, it's not going to happen.
That's what puts money. That's why the networks get ratings, Vic. But you 100% right. Thank you for those comments, Vic. 100%
Joy
right.
said, LOL, fake news. I'm not really quite sure what that's in reference to.
There goes that terminology, man.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of fake news out there.
Yeah, which is why I'm not going to give these outlets a satisfaction and plugging them and telling them who they are. I'm not going to do it. Not on my show.
And Steve's a little bit angry that you put him on blast.
I had to, Steve, man. I had to, bro. Yo, I love you, brother. You're our number one fan at BlackSheep Bravo, man. But dude, I had to put you on blast, man. Take the damn tents off, Steve.
What I gotta do.
Right. Just so you know, Steve is like, I love Steve. Steve is like, hey, he will say, hey, Double Dog, why is it that I see a lot of cops walking around with their tents? And it's not fair. Yeah. Hey, Steve, I don't have tents on my car. You see? Without even noticing. Steve, I don't have tents on my vehicles. I have two. I don't have tents. What the other people do, that's on them. Everyone's different. But, hey, all I can say is it's a no-bueno, bro. No bueno. All I know is Double Dog doesn't do it. Double Dogs go straight and narrow, bro. I tell it like it is. But we love you, Steve, though. You're a number one fan, brother.
Speaking of Steve, where's the shirts? No, I got to bring it up. Come on.
Hey, Steve, come on. You know they're on their way, man. They're going through customs.
Yeah, they got stuck in customs.
Yeah, they got through customs, bro.
Oh, good stuff. Okay.
But I did order them, and I put it up on our website how exactly it's going to look at. There was an issue because the guy called me up. Just so you can know, Steve, I'm not bullshitting on this show. The guy called me up, and he was like, did you want gray? Did you want blue? And I'm like, dude, gray shirts with our logo. So they're being done, and I'm going to store them here in the man cave. They'll be here, and then I will distribute them as we get it. But Steve, you will be getting the unveiling of the shirt live on the Roundtable show. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you, Steve, it's coming.
All righty.
Anything? Oh, he said they're coming. What? Is he made another comment?
Oh, are they coming from China?
Yes, they're coming. No, everything made in the USA, Steve.
USA, we're veterans here. Of course, it's made in the USA.
Made in the USA, brother. Come on, you're talking to a bunch of veterans here on BlackSheep Bravo. What's the time we got now, Doc? How much time we already got on the air?
Hey, we already got like 40 minutes.
All right, damn, this is going as better as I thought. I thought it was going to be like a 10-minute, 20-minute clip. So I appreciate you co-hosting with me, Doc. You're doing a freaking fantastic job, brother. Veterans, taking care of veterans, man.
One last comment here?
Go for it. Go for our last comment before we end the show.
He's an ex-paramedic firefighter, and he hated tent because, as a driver of emergency vehicles, I needed to see the drivers of the vehicles at intersections. So he needed to make sure that when he was going through an intersection, he'd look over, you'd make eye contact, so you know what that person's going to do.
Right.
So, yeah, I could see that being justified. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. And thank you, Vic, for your service as ex-paramedic and firefighters. I mean, noble profession, and I thank you on behalf of BlackSheep Bravo and the Beyond the Thin Blue Line. I thank you for your public service, my friend. Thank you very much, and wonderful comments.
All righty.
All right, so we have no other further comment. I'm going to end the show on a positive note, but first let me get the last words. First by Doc. Doc, what are your last words before we end the show, brother?
I don't know. Just don't be stupid. And again, if you having problems, seek help. Or if you know someone that's having problems, give them help. Or get them help.
I could have said it better myself, Doc. Appreciate you being a co-host with me on Beyond the Thin Blue Line with the Double Dog. I want to encourage everyone to like our show. Share the crap out of our show. Subscribe to our YouTube page at BlackSheep Bravo. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, Monday Motivation with the Ogre Dude. And hopefully the Spaniard would join him as a co-host. We really miss the Spaniard. He's been gone on location doing secret missions, and we look forward for the Spaniard to join us.
He's been strangling chickens recently.
Yeah, we got to find out what's going on our next Friday night roundtable show with all of us veterans coming on, giving everyone a great time, giving that hour of entertainment to these servicemen and women that are putting their lives on the line every single day. We thank our veterans and thank you all for watching. As always, what I always say, Doc, to our men and women in uniform.
Always wear your vest.
Always wear your vest. There you have it. This is the Devil Dog and the Doc from the Black Sheep Bravo Beyond the Thin Blue Line. Thank you. Happy Sunday. Take care of yourselves. God bless.